Today, we're diving into one of the most important and often overlooked hormones. It's important for fertility, mood, metabolism, and overall well being. It's progesterone. If you've been struggling with irregular cycles, PMS, fertility challenges, or perimenopause symptoms, low progesterone might be playing a role. The good news is that there are natural and effective ways to support healthy progesterone levels, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So, why is progesterone important? This hormone is produced primarily after ovulation, and its main role is to prepare our body for pregnancy. But it also is really important for balancing out the effects of estrogen, reducing inflammation, and keeping our mood in balance. If progesterone is too low, you might experience symptoms like short cycles or irregular periods, luteal phase defect, which is the phase between ovulation and your period. This could either be too short or have a difficulty time getting a good temperature rise. And this can impact our ability to get pregnant or stay pregnant. We can also have PMS, mood swings or anxiety, poor sleep or night sweats, and spotting before the period. While the conventional approach might jump to progesterone supplementation, which is a really valid option for treatment here, it isn't the only option. We have a lot of things that we can do to naturally support our body's ability to make progesterone, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The number one way to naturally support progesterone is to ensure that you're ovulating. Like I mentioned, if we're not ovulating, we're not producing any progesterone. And this is because progesterone is produced by the corpus luteum, which is basically what the follicle, which the egg has come out of, turns into after ovulation. It's this incredible event that is requiring a lot of energy. So if our energy needs aren't on point, if the setting of our environment isn't quite right, then ovulation can struggle. And not only whether or not we're ovulating, but also the health of the egg and the follicle that are being ovulated. That can absolutely impact our progesterone levels as well. So how can we encourage regular ovulation? For one, eating enough food in general, but especially healthy fats and proteins can be really important for producing our hormones, getting enough hormones, and giving our body the signal that we are safe and able to reproduce. Reducing excessive stress. Cortisol competes with progesterone production and other hormone production. And again, it can also give us a message, our body a message that our body isn't safe, something is going wrong, either we don't have enough food, we're at war. One of these evolutionary signals that our body should not be reproducing right now. And that can basically shut off reproduction and shut down our hormone production, shut down ovulation. So we really want to keep excessive stress in check and make sure that the stress that our body is perceiving is not excessive. Consider tracking your cycles with basal body temperature or ovulation predictor kits, also known as OPKs, which tests for LH. The reason to do this is to confirm if you're ovulating and how frequently. If it's irregular, if it's regular, this can give you some great information to know if you're making progesterone or not, or I guess having a chance to make progesterone or not. If you're on hormonal birth control, keep in mind that it prevents ovulation, meaning that progesterone is not naturally being produced. Many of the birth control pills contain progestin, which is a synthetic progesterone analog, but not the same as progesterone. So that's for a whole different conversation, but just know that. Another really important thing to look at when we're looking at progesterone production is having balanced blood sugar. Blood sugar imbalances can wreak havoc on ovulation and progesterone production because basically when insulin levels spike, they can shift the balance of estrogen and testosterone, making it harder to produce enough progesterone. So we really want to keep our blood sugar as stable as possible. This is so important for other things too, like having good energy throughout the day. Again, our body getting these good signals that everything is safe and balanced. It can help with our nervous system balance. So some things to keep our blood sugar balanced are focusing on protein, fiber, and healthy fats with every meal. I tell people with every meal and snack even, so you're not having any what I call naked carbs, where you're having carbohydrates without something to balance it out like fat or protein. And making sure those carbohydrates are as fiber rich as possible, usually meaning less processed, more whole forms. Limiting excessive sugar and these processed carbohydrates definitely can be an important piece of this as well. And incorporating gentle movement after meals, like a short walk, or even doing squats after lunch if you're not able to go for a walk, can be really great at helping reduce blood sugar levels, help keep insulin in check. So I mentioned before that managing stress is really important for making sure that we're ovulating. It's also really important for our actual production of progesterone. Chronic stress is definitely one of the biggest progesterone killers. And even if you're ovulating regularly, it doesn't necessarily mean that stress is not impacting your progesterone production. Basically, our body prioritizes what's completely necessary, and reproduction is not necessary. So our sex hormones like progesterone can really go by the wayside if our body is having to deal with too much other stuff. So to lower stress and boost progesterone, we really want to do some things like, for one, keep an eye on your overall stress levels. I like to describe it as an inventory. So take an inventory of your stress, and that doesn't mean just mental emotional stress. We usually think, oh, I'm so stressed out. And we always think about the mental emotional aspect, but our body perceives stress also in more general way of exercise. If our body is fighting something like a cold or an infection, if our body has a lot of inflammation, that's perceived as stress, as well as the mental emotional piece. If our nervous system is just dysregulated and in fight or flight mode a lot of the time, those can be a big problem. Take an inventory and take things off where you can. We can't always quit our job and move to a desert island and sip margaritas for the rest of our life, right? So keeping an eye on what things can we change, what things can we not, and how can we manage the things we can't. So again, you have a stressful job, maybe you can't quit at this point in your life, but maybe you can take a lunch break and turn off your computer and go for a walk or do a meditation. Maybe you don't have to do a HIIT workout 5 days a week. Maybe you can do a different type of exercise that your body is perceiving as more nourishing. It's good exercise, but it isn't giving your body the signal that we're in danger, especially in certain phases of our cycle, like around ovulation and beyond. So that, I think, is the most essential piece. But also you could try adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha, rhodiola. These are fabulous at supporting, nourishing our adrenal health and keeping cortisol in check. I mentioned incorporating deep breathing, meditation, mindfulness practices daily in our daily life, doing something that's bringing your nervous system down to a steady state, a no stress state, can be really helpful. You also want to make sure to prioritize sleep. Progesterone thrives when your body is well rested. And so many hormones, there's this pulsatile action of the hormone being secreted, and sleep is absolutely necessary for really healthy secretion of hormones. Another thing to support progesterone is to support your gut and liver health. Our liver and gut play a major role in clearing out excess estrogens and making room for healthy progesterone production. If we don't have a good balance of estrogen and progesterone, even if our progesterone is good, if we have excess estrogen, then that can be a problem. So if you're having some of these signs, maybe you're not sure if it's low progesterone or not, giving your liver some love can be a really great way to support your health and to support that balance. So eating plenty of cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, cauliflower, these help support your liver in detoxifying, especially excess estrogens. So those are an important part of your daily diet, as well as getting a good amount of magnesium, B vitamins. You can get this from your diet. Nuts and seeds are a great source of these. It can be hard to get enough magnesium from our diet. So supplementing can be really helpful for this also. And B vitamins do also get depleted more quickly when we're under stress. So if you're under stress, you're trying to adapt to that also, then taking some extra B vitamins can be really helpful also. This can be done in a really high quality multivitamin. Needed's Women's Multi is a great one for getting the bare minimum of nutrients, getting magnesium and high quality B vitamins. That can be a great start. You could also take additional magnesium glycinate, is my favorite form for this purpose. And this can also be really supportive of your body being able to produce hormones, clear excess hormones, and just support your energy levels. And ensuring that you're having really regular bowel movements is really important too, with having our gut function appropriately, being able to get excess estrogen out. So if you're feeling constipated, if you're not having a really good bowel movement at least once a day, then getting more fiber, getting more water, maybe taking magnesium citrate. Sometimes probiotics can be helpful here too. You really want to make sure that you're pooping regularly. That can be really critical. And other things that we can do to support progesterone, certain herbs and nutrients can be really helpful to naturally boost progesterone production. So some of my favorites for this are vitamin B6. These can be found in things like turkey, bananas, and spinach. And this is really helpful with supporting progesterone synthesis. So this, again, I mentioned a B vitamin or B complex in a multivitamin. You want to make sure that this has a good amount of B6, but sometimes supplementing with additional B6 beyond diet, beyond the multivitamin can be helpful if you are sure that progesterone production is needing some support for you. You want to be mindful about B6 supplementation though, because too much can be too much. So we really want to go for a max dose of maybe 100 milligrams a day or less. If you're getting good benefits from less, then great. But you don't want to go too high beyond that because then you can have some nerve issues. Magnesium, again, is really crucial for hormone balance and reducing stress. It also can be supportive of our progesterone production. So same as what I just talked about. Magnesium glycinate can be really helpful here. And as far as dosage goes, usually I'm recommending maybe like 400 to 600 milligrams total a day for supplementing with magnesium for someone who is deficient or really needing some support there, to give you a frame of reference. Of course, always talk to your doctor before starting any supplements. Zinc is another mineral that can be really helpful here with supporting ovulation and corpus luteum health. It's really great at balancing inflammation. So getting some good zinc in there as well. Again, usually you can get a good amount in a multivitamin. Usually I'm aiming for about 15 to 25 milligrams a day supplement-wise. And you can also get it from foods like oysters, pumpkin seeds, and meat. And then an herb that I really like for someone who is really struggling with progesterone, say they're in perimenopause, they really need some extra support to get progesterone production going, is Vitex. It's also known as chaste tree berry or chasteberry. Basically, this is an herb that can be really helpful with supporting progesterone, can kind of keep estrogen in check, can also help lower prolactin if prolactin is high for reasons like stress and things like that. There are other reasons for prolactin being high. So if it's super high, you absolutely want to talk to your doctor, but this can be really helpful with supporting progesterone. And there's a lot of research to back this up. It's been used for a very long time, and there's some great quality products out there for this. Again, of course, if you're unsure about supplements or just before starting any supplement, always talk with your healthcare provider because some of these might not be right for you. These are just general things that I am often recommending to my patients that I think have been really helpful. I think they absolutely be a game changer if they're right for you. Now, again, to go back to progesterone supplementation, the point of this conversation today is really how to naturally support progesterone. But progesterone supplementation can be a really valid option, especially if you're down to the wire, you're really having symptoms that you can't get in check, or you're trying to get pregnant yesterday. So it can be a valid option. Again, you want to work with your doctor and really talk about the form, how you're taking it, when you're taking it, the dose. This is an important conversation to have with your doctor and talk about all the nuance to it. But just to say that it's okay to also actually go for the big gun, so to speak, when you need it. I use this again a lot in my practice, especially for women who are in perimenopause, where all the lifestyle, all the diet changes aren't helping or they aren't doing enough. And so really going a little bit extra to get some better support can be really helpful. So again, low progesterone is common, but it's not something that you have to just accept as part of your life. It is absolutely something that can be modified, and dealing with things like bad PMS or spotting or terrible periods don't have to be something that you just accept as part of your reality. By supporting your body with the right nutrients, lifestyle shifts, stress management, you can naturally boost your progesterone levels and feel so much better in the process. I hope this episode resonated with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please contact me, reach out to me, especially if you have any questions too. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at Dr. Miranda Naylor, you can send me a message there if you have questions, or you can email me. Our email address is info@drmirandanaylor.com. If you want more support with your hormones and you're just not getting where you need to be on your own, please reach out and schedule a clarity call with me. I'll link that in the show notes. But I'd love to support you on your hormone journey if you're struggling. Again, that doesn't have to be a reality for you. And there's a lot you can do on your own, but sometimes we get to a point where we've exhausted our options. Just really need some more support. And I'd love to share my strategy with you. Again, thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe if you want to follow with more of our episodes. And please leave a review if you enjoy this episode. That will help me reach more women and help more women. Thanks so much.